All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter today, and this is Chatter with Statter. It looks like we have got a hype train already coming in, and even probably, I'm guessing, before the hype train, we had a raid party with Terry in Scotland, party of two. So I had to step away from the captain's chair for a minute. So now I am back and I'm looking at what's going on. So Shock in here with Terry, and Shock, although was here with the schedule, not coming in with the raid, I don't think. Terry in 44-month subscription. That is super stoked. Thank you so much for that resub. Looks like Sasquatch is in the house on the YouTube side. Hey, Sass, good to see you. Working and listening. Good. And eMusic, I'm here. Where are you? I was indisposed for a moment, as it were. And let's see here. Darlene saying aloha to Sass. DJ Smook in. I'm wondering if DJ Smook came in on that there raid, but we'll see. And let's see here, eMusic and Rick subscribing for 46 months. Super stoked. And I'm thinking it's these subscriptions that got that hype train a-rolling. All right, and then Darlene saying aloha to everybody. And let's see here, DJ Smook saying aloha. Good evening, Darlene, eMusic. Who else we got? Rick, we got Terry, we got Rick. We got Mama Sean on that there YouTube side. And I've got an itchy ankle, so there we go. Let's see here what else we got going on. We got Stream Elements telling us about Lono Music. Ooh, and you know what, you guys? We're going to have Stream Elements telling us to subscribe to Factor, but you know what? That promotion is over, and I need to take that off of my feed. I forgot all about that. However, we will talk about Factor one last time. And let's see here. The Smookster is feeling very little pain at the moment. Well, Smookster, good on ya. I was, maybe in a similar state of mind last night, but we won't talk about that yet. And let's see here. Looks like we got PPP Bang coming in from Finland, dude. Good to see you. And looks like eMusic was asking Darlene and Rick about their anniversary. They had a nice little steak dinner and went to a movie with the grandkids. Very curious what movie you went to go see to, Darlene. Wait, went to go see to? Well, I think you know what I was trying to ask there. And oh my God, Mama Sean, 105, that's not good. But right now in the Seattle area, we are at 97. No, we are at 87 in my yard. So we're definitely in our official summer moment in the Seattle area. And let's see here. Not Switch. Oh, sweet card, not a Switch card. Got it. And Kenny from the Cove coming in saying, howdy, Statterbox family. Good to see you, Kenny. Hold on. Before I go in asking Kenny about something, I want to make sure I've got... Oh, Darlene, How to Train Your Dragon movie. That is so cute. That is excellent. And PPP Bang, it was 88 here inside today. Well, Silly Kitten, it sounds like you might need an air conditioner. That's what I've got going on. And right now in my house, it's 70 degrees out. But outside, it is 87. I'm telling you right now, I'm loving my air conditioner. And let's see here. Went to the pool this afternoon. Only place to be in the heat. Absolutely. Kenny, I saw a post of yours on Facebook earlier today. And it sounds like, are there still floods going on in your area now? Or are these river heights remnants of the floods earlier? And so, because I kind of thought that the floods had subsided, but I also know enough to know that just because those floods subsided doesn't mean there isn't a new one rolling down the river. So, very curious about what kind of risk you're in. I know it sounded like you were just like, wow, I've never seen the river this high before, and I've lived here like all my life. So this is a significant event, right? And Terry, I think it's raining again in the flood zone. Yeah, that was kind of the impression that I was getting from the tone of Kenny's post. I can't really remember it verbatim, but basically it was like, well, both bridges are open and the water's not flowing over the bridges, but The river's as high as I've ever seen it. And that's absolutely not what he said verbatim, but that was the gist of it. And I don't like those words. Well, the water's not flowing over the bridge? Yeah, that's never supposed to happen. So, yeah. And you guys, if you happen to hear loud kitty noises in the background, it is Mr. Man, maybe they shouldn't have named it a flood zone. That's the problem, PBB Bang, is we call it the flood zone. So therefore, where else is the flood supposed to go? It's just staying in its zone, you know? All right, so now that we've got the usuals accounted for, let's get the party started. And I'm going to see what my kitty, Mr. Dusty, has to say to me, because he clearly has a lot on his mind. All right, we'll be back in a sec. Boop. All right, it looks like Verity Hunt is here, and just in time for the kitty glare, that black cat stare. And yeah, hello, anybody in there? No, I had to. Kitty Cat was lobbying heavily for the door to be opened, so I did the strangest thing. I opened the door. I think you know what happened then. Nothing. He just stood there and looked at me, waiting for me to, I don't know what. And so finally I said, you need to go outside. And I kicked his butt. And so he slowly went outside. You know, kitties gonna do what kitties are gonna do. Speaking of which, Terry in Scotland was thinking about your situation, all right? All right? Look. No one can tell you if or when you can open your garden door. If there happens to be a kitten in your garden meowing at you to open your door, who says that you're not allowed to open your door? If the cat comes inside, the cat comes inside. That is not your fault. That is not your problem. Okay? Okay? So, if a little kitty cat who happens to know her way from one house to the next, because I'm very convinced that your kitty cat Jaffa, well, your former kitty cat Jaffa, your volunteer kitty cat Jaffa, I have no doubt in my mind that she knew how to get back home. If you live that close, she knew how to get back home. She was double dipping, and she's going to continue to double dip. And if her people don't like that, then that's her people's problems. So, that's what I have to say. And PBB Bang, my new puppy, ought to be born yesterday, but looks like she's coming out next week. What kind of puppers is the new dog planning on being, PBB Bang? I'm very curious. And Kenny bringing in new floods from the storms we got this morning. I'm safe. The flood on the Lampasas River are miles away from me. Before I was able to get a look, the Lampasas River Bridge was closed due to water flowing over the bridge. Yeah, see, that's not supposed to happen. It had recorded enough to reopen by the time I got there. It receded enough to reopen by the time I got there. It was still touching the bottom of the bridge when I arrived, though. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no. Touching the bottom of the door? Mm-mm. Okay, I'll open your door. Your self-censoring mechanism is excellent, by the way. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. And it's a German Shepherd and a girl. Must be. If there's no girl, then I have to wait longer. Oh, all right. Well, hopefully, your little dream baby is going to be born. And let's see here, Mama Sean. We had a Javelina sleeping next to the front door, and we had a Diamondback in the shed carport, so I would be happy with an errant kitty. I don't know if an errant kitty would be able to take care of those things, but I always am a fan of an errant kitty. And I also think that that even though errant kitties are wonderful and the cat distribution system is a great thing, if Terry wants to get another kitty so Jaffa can have a visiting friend, a stepsister, or a stepbrother, I fully encourage that. And because I like to pretend to get animals that aren't ever going to belong to me, I went and looked at the cats that were available at Scottish Cat Rescue and the Lanarkshire SPCA, whatever. A couple of Scottish animal shelters I went and looked at. And I'll tell you what, dude, just like in America, there are a lot of black cats waiting for homes. Oddly enough, quite a few black cats and orange cats. And frankly, if you're going to get two kitties, an orange cat and a black cat are the perfect combo. Just letting you know. But I encourage you, not that I'm trying to get you to replace Jaffa, but I am encouraging you to consider a black cat, because black cats are the ones that generally aren't getting placed, and they are, they're some of the best kitties. They really are. All right, that's just me being biased because I've had so many black cats in my life. And let's see here, PPP Bang, you just lost your previous German Shepherd in late May. I remember, and he was only 8.5 years old. That's a pretty good year. It's a pretty good age though for a German Shepherd. But he had huge back issues and leg issues. It was huge, so it take a toll on his body. I think he was 115 pounds. Wow, dude, that is a big German Shepherd. I don't know if the German Shepherds in your area have the same issues as the purebred American Kennel Association certified German Shepherds, but with the body standard that the show wants for the American Kennel Club, the angle at which their back is supposed to be sloped, ideally, it messes up their joints, so their hip bones so badly. Oh, he wasn't low butt, he was straight. Oh, well, that is good. Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that, PPP Bang, because some of the breed standards for these animals actively works against the animal's health. And it's just so frustrating that people are breeding them to make them for this show standard that in the long run is just going to be a painful arthritic existence, or in the case of like pug dogs, their faces they're trying to squish them shorter and shorter, which makes it harder and harder for them to breathe, right? It just makes no sense. And PPP Bang, good. It sounds like you're obviously not going for the quote unquote show standard, which is beautiful. And let's see here, Mama Sean, Dr. Steve opened the door to head out and was right there, woke him right up, and he slammed the door shut. Now, javelinas, are those are wild dogs, are they? They're sort of like hyenas. Or I guess it's javelina. I called them javelina, like I just said, wrongly. But what are those? And by the way, Sue Honda, so good to see you. And let's see here. They neuter a lot of feral cats. They fixed a colony outside Lanark that was something like 40 cats. Yeah, Terry, that's a really good way to for feral cat colonies just to exist, because some feral cat colonies they're too feral to adopt into homes. But the last thing you want to do is them to create more baby kitties. So it's called, at least in the United States, it's called trap, neuter, and return. And so you basically trap and neuter the males and spay the females. You bring them back, and one of the reasons for bringing back the the neutered males, is because they will still maintain the colony and keep unneutered males out. And so, let's see here. You read that orange cats came with the Vikings. I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know is Orange kitties are so much like dogs. They are the most dog-like of all cats. They have their own personality, and I know that's really strange. How can you say that a color of a fur indicates a personality? It does. It's kind of been anecdotally supported forever. Orange cats are their own special thing, and I love an orange cat with a black cat. It's just the most perfect Halloween combo. Plus, they seem to get along really well. And let's see here. You heard domestic pigs turn into boars if they're out in the wild on their lonesome long enough. I've heard that too, PB Bang, although I don't know if that's true. And Kenny's saying that these are... Oh, javelinas are not dogs. They are 100% wild pigs, not feral hogs. They're just wild pigs. And they can be fearless and mean AF. One charged at me and ran me up a tree, and that was after I shot at it and missed. Well, Kenny, that's why you don't miss. And yeah, I guess it sounds like there's some kind of pig, Darlene. These Wild West types know a lot more about them than I do. I know more about orange kitty cats and black kitty cats and things like that. Not much about the javelinas at all. All right, so let's see here. What did I want to... Oh, okay, you guys, we were talking about pupper dogs for just a second ago. We're talking about aminals and puppers, and I saw this picture, and I thought it was so cute. And, you know, it's not really anything to talk about, but sometimes little pupper dogs, they just say, heck the rules, man, heck the rules. And this dog said, heck the rules. Look at that little sticker on the door. The sticker on the door says, no wiener dogs. And look at that wiener dog right in the store, hecking the rules. My name is Ween. I break the law. Ignore the sign like dirt on paw. That note belongs in garbage bin. For Ween don't care. I walk right in. And that's the pupper poetry posting of the day. Heck the rules, says Ween. My name is Ween. I break the law. Ignore the sign like dirt on paw. That notice belongs in garbage bin. For Ween don't care. I walk right in. And we should all strive to be a little bit more like Ween. That's right. And let's see here. Darlene, I love wiener dogs. We had 3 of them. Love them so much. And let's see here. All right. So apparently javelinas often have some fairly sharp tusks. Javelinas can kill you, no problem, says Verity. PB Bang, feral pigs can develop characteristics similar to wild boars, such as increased body hair, a more pronounced snout, and greater muscle mass due to increased activity and hormonal changes. So not boars, obviously you don't just change species, but they have drastic changes. Okay, that would maybe explain what I was thinking. And it's a bunch of rabid razorbacks that did in Old Yeller. Wait, what? Oh, okay, right. It's the razorbacks that gave Old Yeller the rabies. Because I thought it was... Never mind. I've never seen or read Old Yeller. I just know a little... I know enough about it that I don't want to see or read Old Yeller. And let's see here. Okay, so technically it's a New World pig compared to Old World, which I guess is the domestic pig. I didn't even know that there was New World pig, Old World pig. Well, goodness gracious, gosh darn, I just learned something here today. I had no idea that there was such a differentiation. I mean, it makes sense, but yeah. And PB Bang, your brother just got a wiener dog recently. It's a rescue dog, and he's from another country, but he's the cutest little thing that you've ever seen. Yeah, they can be pretty cute, actually. And Darlene coming in with the right kind of questions. What kind of wiener dog, PB Bang? Short hair, long hair, wired hair, black, red, piebald? I'm telling you, dude, the long-haired wiener dogs, I didn't know cute. Because in my life, I had only seen the black and tan kind with the short hair. That was a wiener dog. Occasionally, maybe an all-black one, or occasionally maybe a brown one. I guess maybe red. And they're always short hair. Never before had I seen a long-haired dachshund, and oh my god, when I did, I fell in love. And he's fully black, and he has light brown eyebrows that look hilarious. He has short, smooth hair, but he's a mix with something half wiener, half something. Got it. And Verity, don't cats do that too? If they go feral, they get heavier and more stout. I don't know if cats necessarily get heavier and more stout, but when they're feral, what it is though is, I mean, I'm sure there's, if you're feral, you're out, you have to be tough. So, you got to have a prison yard body. So you're going to be a little bit buff. But I think what you're thinking of is what happens to male cats that that are unneutered, is they end up, their testosterone thickens them. But specifically, I think what you're thinking of is the face turns into the cheeks thicken, and their face gets a lot rounder. I call them apple-headed cats. The cats that, they got this little tiny body, but they've got this big old face. And that happens in lions, too, as they get older. And it protects their face. These fat cheeks protect them in fighting. It has to do with just extra tissue that it's padding for when they get into fisticuffs with other animals. So I think you're thinking of that, and I don't think it has anything really to do with being feral as much as it has to do with being unneutered. However, if you are feral, you're probably unneutered. And then, of course, if you're feral, you need to be a strong cat. I had a kitty cat that I named that I called Big Poppy. And Big Poppy, he was just a big cat, but he was also a feral cat that sort of semi-domesticated himself at my house. And, boom, he hit me so hard with his little kitty paw. He didn't have his claws out or anything. He wanted my attention, and I was sitting on the toilet, and he hit my, and by the way, I had on knee-length socks and a pair of jeans, okay? This was wintertime. I had on knee-length socks and a pair of jeans, and he hit my calf so hard that I had a cat paw print bruise. Every one of his little feet. He hit me so hard with his little feet that I had a paw print bruise for like a week. It was probably the cutest bruise I've ever had in my life. But I told him, no, stop, don't doing that. And PB Bang, sometimes I wondered why tigers and lions and other predators are colored like that when the bushes and trees are green. But I heard it's because animals are colorblind, just like dogs see orange as green, which would make sense, but it was AI slop content and I didn't fact check. Yeah, hard to say, but I think when it comes to, say, the lions, a lot of their territory is the open grasslands, and so they really do blend with their tan color. And then when it comes to the tigers and all the little stripies and the spotties, that has to do with camouflaging in a different way. They find out, they're starting to find out that one of the reasons why zebras have stripes is so the insects don't see them to land on them. And so they mimicked this with horses in the field, and they painted horses with zebra stripes, and the horses that had the zebra stripes got bit less than by flies and other insects than the ones that didn't. So I think there's a lot of reasons for camouflage, but I can also tell you that a cat like Leo, who is Puzzy Cat, good to see you, a cat like Leo, who is a silver tabby, even though he doesn't look like he would blend into anything, when he's in the dappled shade of the like the under, under a bush. He blends. He looks like dirt with shadow on it. Like the stripes definitely, even though the stripes to us seem like they would make them stand out, it does, right, Darlene? I also heard those stripes help blend in between light and dark spots, shading and thing. Exactly. They really, even though the stripes sort of seem like it would make them more obvious, it makes them less obvious. And let's see here. Who was the genius that learned how to talk zebra? Just kidding, but evolution and Mother Nature is so fascinating and beautiful. Exactly. And let's see here. Terry, so if you paint stripes on your butt, the skeeters will leave me alone. I don't know, Terry. You might have a particularly luscious butt for skeeters. It's hard to say. Because skeeters, this is really more of a fly thing for the horses than skeeters. So the flies will leave your butt alone. But yeah, it's worth a try, like Baby Bang said. And let's see here, Kenny. I had a girlfriend who had two doxies. She lived on an acre in the country and had gophers on the property. The dogs would hear them underground and go nuts, digging up the ground, trying to get the varmints. It's in their DNA to do that. They're originally bred to hunt badgers in Germany by digging up their dens and dragging them out with their teeth. Precisely. Which is why, honestly, I don't really trust dachshunds around cats. I've heard of too many bad things. In fact, the only dogs I've ever heard of to do bad things to cats are dachshunds. And I've heard of it three different dachshunds. Now, perhaps there was only it was a tag team of two and then a singular one. So the singular one in Idaho, who basically decided to go nuts one day and kill all the neighborhood cats, and leave them on the front porch of their owner. Yeah, that was a problem. The neighborhood didn't like that. But then another friend actually had two, and I don't know if it was one or both, but at least one of them said, I don't like cats anymore, and I've got a bone to pick with them. Yeah. And let's see, I've never heard an American say dachshund before, and it's hilarious. Sorry. How do you... I know that you can't, like, it's impossible, but I am very curious. How do you say it? And, right, when they do that head shake thing, no bueno. Exactly. I'll take the badgers over the dachshunds anytime. I'll take a dachshund over a badger any day, but dachshunds are tough little buggers. They look like they're not meant for much, but they are meant to get down to business if you need them to. Mariana, so good to see you. So good to see you. And your doxies were fine with my daughter's cats. They had no issues. They at first were curious, but with a quick reprimand of a paw was all it took for them to learn not to bother the cats. Yeah, I am certainly not saying that this is true for every dachshund by any stretch of the imagination. I have no doubt in my mind that for the two stories that I have, there are 200,000 stories of, yeah, nothing ever happened. Really, it's no big deal. All I'm saying is it's weird that the only dog breed I've ever heard of to have issues with cats to such a degree that it's an issue is a dachshund. And I'm very curious, PPP Bang, how I'm supposed to be saying dachshund. Dachshund. Am I supposed to say dachshund? Because that's what I want to say when I see the letters. Dachshund. And let's see here. Badgers are really mean, and I don't think a little dog would stand a chance, especially a big one. I know, PPP Bang, I 1000% am on your side with this perception, but for real, it's true. They were bred for that stuff. They were bred to do that. And no, but it sounded funny. I wouldn't say it any other way as an American. God dang it. Now I'm very curious. They really were, Pussycat. They were bred to do that. I don't know. I heard it was weasels instead of badgers, but all I know is weasels, mongoose, whatever, they absolutely can be brutal, and dachshunds have no fear. And Dachshund is how I'm supposed to say it. Verity, Dachshund. All right, that's cool. And your neighbor's cat was eaten by a badger. Oh no, that's not. Yeah, and Dachshund. Okay, Dachshund. Okay, well, Dachshund. I'm gonna say just whatever. Whatever. Our dachshunds have always lived nicely with cats, but I'm a firm believer in cats stay in the house and dogs stay leash. Oh well, yeah. There you go. There you go. Mama Jean, and maybe moles or groundhogs. Well, for sure they'll go after them, but yeah, no. It's they're meant to go like they're meant, and like Mama Sean just said, wiener dogs come in various sizes, and a standard one is not tiny, actually. I mean, its legs might be short, but it's a big bulk of muscle, 35 pounds worth. And Darlene, but then they have taken on an opossum in the yard, would go crazy for squirrels. They went nuts for those animals. And one of my dogs dove down a big hole up north, but nothing was in there, luckily. Oh, and Mariana putting out the call out. Anyone else here have a beagle? And they went nuts for squirrels. Yeah, you see what she did there? Well, Mariana, I don't have a beagle, but you know what I do have? I have Bubbles. And they were, let's see here. I've never seen a 35-pound dachshund. Oh, I definitely have. Shoot, I had a Chihuahua Corgi mix that was like 45 pounds. You know, these dogs can really get, I wouldn't say bulky, but dense. And let's see here, you also had a Jack Russell who stood under a tree for over 12 hours straight. I'd hate to be that squirrel, having that staring at you for half the day. Yeah, totally. Just dead staring at you. Right, but the squirrel is just like, dude, I don't have to get down on the ground, and you will never get up here, so why are we even having this conversation? Like, really, you know? And, let's see here. Darlene, though, was saying Rick's brother had a beagle, Digger, and he was wild. He took on anything, and he bayed. My beagle Poppy chases lizards in the yard all day. Never managed to catch one. Well, hey, you know what? At least your dog's getting a good exercise, quality enrichment activities, you know, and even better, you don't have to clean up the mess of his hunts. Or her hunts, because she doesn't catch anything. And exactly, terriers were bred to work the slaughterhouses where the rats would kill where the rats would kill cats. Terrier because they go to ground. Right, that makes sense. That makes sense. And Beagle's ears look hilarious. I wonder what's the purpose of those floppy ears. And Kylo is the same way with squirrels. He was chasing them today. I wouldn't be surprised if Kylo was able to catch a squirrel one day, though. PPP bang. And your dachshund Rosie staked out a squirrel in Quanah all summer. I don't think I said that word right. She got its tail and was ever so proud of herself. There we go. Ever so proud of herself. That is so cute. All right, you guys. So, day before yesterday, whenever, our last stream, we spent a lot of time talking about Ozzy Osbourne, the King of Darkness, formerly the Prince of Darkness, now the King of Darkness. And we are going to wrap up that topic with just a couple loose ends. First off, I mentioned for you one of my favorite little Ozzy and Sharon arguments and about Bubbles, and I happened to actually find it online, and so I thought I would share with you the giggling that I really that I saw in this clip. It's not beagles, it's Bubbles.
Bubbles! Oh, come on, Sharon. I'm fucking Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of fucking Darkness. Evil, what's fucking evil? I've had to borrow the fucking Bubbles. And when do the male models come on and start stroking them? Bubbles! Oh, come on, Sharon. I'm fucking Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of fucking Darkness. Evil, what's fucking evil? I've had to borrow the fucking bubbles. And when do the male models go on and start stroking them?
So I just had to giggle. Bubbles? Sharon, I'm the Prince of Bloody Darkness. And and let's see here. Ozzy's farewell concert raised millions. Yes, I think like 190 million for Parkinson's and Children's Hospital and stuff like that. It was super, super cool. And the way Ozzy moved around when I saw him in concert, he almost looked lifelike. The guy's had a rough life. Yes. And Mariana, yeah, you saw the post I shared of him right in the chair. Had to look it up on YouTube. It really was a heartwarming, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching moment in rock and roll history. That show last on July 5th, his farewell show. And Guns N' Roses were here just less than 10 miles from you last Monday. It's bittersweet seeing those old guys perform. Did you see Guns N' Roses perform PPB Bang? Because I seriously, like, when I saw that Guns N' Roses was performing at that show, I thought, oh, well, you know, Axl and whoever he's got backing him. And then I looked and I was like, wait, that's Slash and that's Duff. And then I was like, and that's Izzy. I about lost my rocker girl mind when I saw that it was close enough to the original lineup of Guns N' Roses that I never thought I would see that on stage ever again. I am so... Did you get to see them, PPB Bang, this time when they came through? If so, I'm a little bit jealous. And you were not home then. You just heard the cue, and Rush was insane, so I'm kind of glad I couldn't go. Got it. Well, the little videos that I saw on the show for Ozzy, Axl's voice is kind of holding up. I was kind of impressed. But a couple more things about the about that show. First off, I want to give the kids the shout out that they deserved. And Andre, good to see you. So last night we got to watch School of Rock, and but before we watched School of Rock, we got to watch Jack Black's cover of Mr. Crowley, and he had a band backing him full of kids, and the kids, two of them, Revel Ian and Roman Morello, they are sons of rock stars. Revel Ian is the son of Scott Ian from Anthrax, and Roman Morello is the son of Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. And then we've got Yoyoka Soma, who is a Japanese drumming prodigy, apparently. And then Hugo Weiss on the keyboards. I don't know much about Yoyoka or Hugo, however you say his name. But I wanted to at least give the kids their full-on shout-out that I didn't have their names or their pictures or anything yesterday. So I wanted to give them the full-on shout-out that they deserve. And then finally, boom. Remember what we were talking about yesterday with the Flying V? Look at all of these Flying Vs, you guys. We've got Jason Momoa, KK Downing from Judas Priest. We've got Kirk Hammett from Metallica, all of which sporting the Flying Vs. And if you look closely, the guitar that Jason Momoa is holding and the guitar that that Kirk Hammett is holding, they were made from the same piece of wood. You can tell by looking at them. And so I love this picture for a multitude of reasons, but mostly because of the wood used for those Flying Vs, which I know is just dumb. And now that I'm done talking about that royalty, rock and roll royalty, I want to say, hey, Andre, good to see you. And thank you so much for the gift subs. And also, Terry in Scotland, thank you so much for the 1,000 biddies. And let's see, what have we got going on? I love two of the children actors from School of Rock. Years later, they came back in connection and got married. Really? Oh, wow. And Darlene saying, that's cool. I didn't know that. Me either. And then she's asking what I was exactly going to ask. Which ones? And Andre, thank you so much for the 500 biddies. So, yeah, I would be super stoked to find out which ones they are. But we are now at the time where it is our Lono listening break. And then after our Lono listening break, I'm going to do something that probably won't work. Okay? I'm just going to tell you right now. We are going to attempt... Key phrase here, attempt, because I already know it's not going to work. But we are going to attempt to watch the trailer for Jason Momoa's Chief of War. I have a feeling it's all technologically blocked, so the moment I hit play, it's not gonna happen. We're just gonna see a black screen, but hopefully that's not, hopefully it'll work. But before we do that, we're gonna watch Lono. Oh, fork. I hope we're gonna watch Lono. I mean, hold on, let's see. Yeah, okay, so we're not going to watch Lono yet. So what we're going to do instead... is we're going to watch a news clip about something that is happening, being considered to be... Let's try again. There's a sheriff in Washington who's really tired of rescuing stupid and ill-prepared people on the mountain. And he's thinking about changing the law. Thank you, Mariana, for that 100 biddies. He's thinking about changing the law. So if you are a reckless hiker and you require saving, you might owe some money, like $1,000. And I kind of think that maybe Hawaii could look into this idea as well. So watch this quick clip while I load up the Lono, and then we're going to watch Lono. And I'm sorry, I totally spaced on this. And thank you guys, 300 biddies Andre, 100 biddies C Honda. Super stoked. And Marianne, I think I said thank you for the 100, but in case I didn't, thank you so much. All right, so here's reckless hiking, and we'll be back with Lono. Boop.
Hikers take on Washington trails. Take view on before you reach the top.
We went like late June. Apparently we should not have gone into like August.
John Morales is hiking Mount Si as part of his training for Mount Rainier. A trip to Vancouver took a turn when he and a partner ran into deep snow.
And we kind of kept going because we were like, you know, we think we can just kind of push through this.
Signs can't stop everyone at Mount Si. Hikers with the right gear say they're seeing others underestimating the mountainside.
Especially these close to Seattle ones where there are people just in tennis shoes and maybe one Mountain Dew.
Hikers are finding themselves in trouble beyond the parking lot because of high heat, steep climbs, and later sunsets. It's why the Skamania County Sheriff is proposing a $1,000 fine for hikers who aren't prepared.
You know, as far as fines, I guess I can see the thought process behind it.
I would emphasize good footwear and hydration.
If somebody is prepared, in great shape for the hike that they're doing, and simply has an accident, that's not what this ordinance is for.
The fines would be issued to hikers who the county deems are recklessly ill-prepared and then require a costly rescue. Skamania County deputies are seeing a surge in rescue calls this summer, 42 in the first half of the year compared with 54 total last year.
I think it was on the 4th of July. A gentleman called he called that he was convulsing and had a medical issue. It was a 7-hour hike for our volunteers to get to him. And then he said, no, thank you. I don't want your help at all.
The sheriff says the ordinance would follow the state's legal definitions for recklessness or negligence, not for those who fall on bad luck. There are a handful of steps before it reaches county commissioners and public comment. John Rogers wonders how it would be enforced.
And I consistently see people that you can tell are just not fully equipped if they encounter an emergency.
King County search and rescue volunteers say they've responded to 27 missions since Memorial Day. Mount Si is one of the most popular and problematic.
With dramatic switchbacks, steep elevation gain, rescue teams say these missions are preventable. Just research your route, wear the right gear, and don't rely on your cell phone. Alex McClune, King 5 News.
It's okay if we treat each other well. It's okay if we had a bad day. It's okay if we sing out, play ukulele. Maybe that's what we needed to hear. Maybe that's why the people are here, to hear a sweet song. We are the same, 9 of diamonds.
All right, so there we go. I'm not saying that that was the most smooth entrance or exit into that Lono video, but at least we did manage to get to that Lono video. And in regards to the rescuing, yeah, I'm not at all surprised, Mama Sean, that people do not appreciate just how brutal hiking in the desert is. Honestly, I know that this is like a silly thing to say, but I don't really understand how hiking in the desert, how it's not more normalized for people to be hiking in the desert with like a parasol. You know, like some sort of, I mean, even if they're not using it all the time, but like some sort of portable shade. I feel as though if you're going to go hiking in the desert, you really need to bring along in your pack some sort of ability to make shade, because there's not trees out there and rocks, and I don't know, you know, shade, you need shade, because that sun directly on you can and will kill you. It will. And Mariana, I can't stand when other people willingly put first responders in danger too. Yep, my mother-in-law chose not to evacuate during Hurricane Helene, and she lived on the water. She had to be rescued during the middle of the hurricane. Her and her many neighbors put themselves and rescuers at risk. I totally agree, Mariana. And you know, at that point, sometimes I think it's a really good idea for, I know that this is totally brutal, but but if you choose to stay in a very high danger zone during, say, a hurricane, then the authorities need to tell you to write your social security number and in permanent ink on your body and other identifying remarks on your body, and they need to let the public know this beforehand, because we can't guarantee that we're going to be able to rescue you. So in case we don't get to rescue you, don't assume we will be able to, and in case we can't, we'll need to identify you. And that's how we're asking you to identify yourself. Honestly, I think that the first responders, the public, the news media, everybody, this kind of needs to be the next level, because our storms are only getting worse. We need to be dramatic. Like, yeah, sure, we'll try and get you, but we're not promising. And because we can't promise it, you need to act like we're not gonna. And when people, I would like to think, when people are told something that drastic, wait, you're not promising to rescue me, and I might be dead, and the only way you're going to know who I am is because of this number that I've put in Sharpie on my body? Oh, well, gosh, maybe I should leave. Maybe I should think about leaving. And I know that that's, like, gruesome and brutal, but I really feel like at this point, that's the only thing that people are going to understand, is gruesome and brutal. The worst part is, in her neighborhood, the police came knocking on everyone's doors the day before and basically told them that. And then they still didn't. I cannot understand. Okay, you know what, Marianne? You know what? Okay. So basically they did exactly. So the cops basically were brutal and gruesome. And then they look for sympathy. Yeah, yeah, I don't. And they tell you the same thing when they want you to evacuate from hurricanes. Yeah, and then people still don't. That's just... And PPP Bang, there have been plenty of peeps found dead with full bottles of water. They got lost and wanted to savor the water. Yeah, no, you cannot do that. Yeah, unfortunately, you cannot do that. Excuse me, I just swallowed my own spit wrong. And let's see here, Kenny, if I hiked in the desert, and no, I wouldn't, I would definitely have one of those umbrella hats and an 18-wheeler tanker full of drinking water. Yeah, exactly. And, let's see here. What is it about white people and their love of endangering themselves and daring nature to kill them and living too well if you try to find things to kill you instead of trying to avoid such situations? I wish I could point my finger with such impunity, but I have actually had to be rescued before by the Forest Service. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. And PPP Bang, you wouldn't catch me dead wearing an umbrella hat. At least my dignity would stay alive. Yep, exactly. And Darlene saying, even on our visit to Hawaii, we saw people going down areas marked and closed off, and they still went. And right up close, what was that? Right up close to the edge, close to blowholes. Also, sometimes I think they want to be killed. Yeah, exactly. And let's see here. Your mother-in-law lived on the water in Newport Richey. If you knew where that is, nearly every house in that neighborhood was destroyed. Right. Yep. There you go. I've always had to rescue myself in such situations. Well, we probably could have rescued ourselves. If we hadn't been rescued by the Forest Service, we absolutely would have been able to spend the night. We were prepared to spend the night, and we had a fire. We weren't gonna die, but we. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, we weren't gonna die, but it would have been a cold night. Anyway, all right, you guys. So we are going to go into an experiment, and I really, really don't think I'm gonna be able to do this, but I'm going to. And by the way, I'm sure if we can do this. oh boy howdy, I will be copyright struck. Okay, I would be copyright struck. I will be, but I'm willing to do it. I don't care because I'm really excited about this trailer. It's a really cool trailer. And Andre, I'm always skeptical that help will come. Oh, we didn't. We certainly didn't count on help coming. We definitely didn't know it was going to be the Forest Service. It just so happened that some fishermen that were on the river right behind us saw what happened, and they were able to paddle out to the next boat launch and call for help for us. But yeah, we had those fishermen not been there. Oh, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. And so we wouldn't have had help. And let's see here. I don't fear death, but I don't go hunting for it either. I've got AC, Wi-Fi, and a truck with a CD player. I'm just not ready to go yet. There we go. All right, you guys. So let's see if we can watch the Chief of War trailer together. I have a feeling that Apple TV and YouTube have made it so I'm not going to be able to show this when I'm streaming, but I'm streaming right now. We're streaming. We're live. So I'm going to press play, and if the screen is black and you only have sound, yeah, we'll know. Or if the screen is not black and we have no sound, well, we'll know. So let's take the leap and see what we got. Boop. Okay, actually, I think that's, let's start over again. I think I know why it didn't have audio, and I think that was my fault. So let's try it one more time. All right, hold on, let's do it. Got to get the buttons in order though, hold on.
Tomorrow we face gods and men to build the kingdoms. This island, this is your home. This land will hold you long after I am gone.
Tell me of the outside world.
It is strange. The pale skin honors no gods of the land. They will be coming soon. If this island is divided, this kingdom will fall. Alcohol makeana.
Kaiana is the fist of our people. We will need him to face the troubles that come our way.
I feel like the gods are against me.
Our gods are the same in that way. They speak to men about men. They don't speak with me.
I
want to fight.
He lalani ho'okahi no nāu puni a pau. O ko ulalani no ia. E kani ka pukaua! Tomorrow we face gods and men to build a kingdom. And no matter what happens to me, this is your home.
Cool. So that experiment worked. I tried to pull that video off of YouTube and record it, but it wouldn't let me record it. So I was pretty convinced it had magical. Oh yeah, I do have echoing. All right, here we go. Oh wait, no, wrong one. Thank you. Yes, I bet there is reverb, but there shouldn't be reverb now. Yeah, so I tried to grab that to save it to show it to you guys, but it would not let me do that. So I figured it was all covered with magic, and it wouldn't let me stream it the way we just did. But but it sounds like, and it looks like we were able to stream it. And yeah, so Darlene, that was the I think that's the long trailer that has come out. I've seen a few of them, but they're shorter. So I think this is the longest trailer that's come out so far. So August 1st is basically like 2.5 weeks from now. Apple TV, I normally do not subscribe to extra this, that, and the other channels, but I did happen to get Apple TV a few months ago for another show, and I got it on sale for like $2.99 a month, which was awesome. But it's now, after my 3 months, whatever, it's going to go up to the $9.99 a month cost, and I'm actually oh, sorry, Kenny, I just read what you said and that was funny. Let's see here, and I actually totally lost my train of thought, so there we go. I had more. Oh, $9.99 a month, there we go. I feel like it's worth it. I'm totally willing to pay $9.99 a month to watch the Chief of War series, but I do think that if you don't already belong, yes, the train went off the track big time there, but if you don't already belong to or subscribe to Apple TV, my best guess is you can probably find a coupon code to get like a preliminary, like I did. It was, instead of $9.99, it was $2.99 a month for the first 3 months. I'll bet you if you look online, you can find a coupon code to make the Apple TV subscriptions a little bit cheaper for the first couple months. And so I'm definitely going to be watching this this series as it comes out. I don't know, I'm not familiar enough with Apple TV to know how they release their things. Well, Terry, I'm already I'm already in with Apple TV. Like I've already it's already been paid for, basically. But thank you so much. And I don't know how many. This isn't a movie. This is a series. I don't know how long each episode is. I don't know how many episodes there are, and I don't know how Apple TV releases their things. I know that Hulu and Netflix oftentimes release seasons all at once, so you can kind of like binge watch. But other streaming services, they release them one episode at a time. And so I don't know if this will be released one episode at a time or en masse. Either way, I'm looking forward to it no matter what. And let's see here. And Terry, though, if you can get it, we certainly might want to... where did I get Reservation Dogs? I want to watch that again. Well, Verity, I got that from Terry in Scotland because Terry has magical ways. Terry is a pirate, and pirates know how to do things. Pirates know how to get things done. I don't know how or where Terry got Reservation Dogs, but it was because Terry downloaded it. So, and we absolutely, Verity, one day we will do another Reservation Dogs stream, as it were, because yeah, it's such a great series. I would 100% watch it again and again and again, and I would love to watch it with anybody who wants to watch it again. And if Terry is able to pirate the video, I would love to show Chief of War on the stream or Statterbox of the cinema, or at some point, so we could watch it together as well. So PBB Bang, you once started an Apple store and they got mad at me like it's my fault they don't have any windows. Yep, there you go. The geniuses at that Apple bar, they don't like it when you smell up the iPads. And all things Quentin Tarantino are amazing. I don't know about amazing, but I will say that Quentin Tarantino definitely is an amazing video director, but we're not talking about Reservoir Dogs, PBB Bang, which, by the way, is probably my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. We're talking about Reservation Dogs, and Reservation Dogs is a 3-season it's a series with 3 seasons, 10 episodes each, about a Native American reservation in Oklahoma. And so, that's my bad. I was second guessing myself because it didn't sound quite right. Every time I say Reservation Dogs, I have to double check in my head, wait, am I calling it Reservoir Dogs or Reservation Dogs, and which one is it? So don't even worry about it. And Terry in Scotland, as soon as someone uploads it, you'll get it for me. You might need to check my Discord once in a while. Well, Terry, I don't think they're going to be able to... Well, Terry, I don't know enough about what I'm talking about because you've got magical ways, but it's not getting released until August 1st. So presumably, you won't find it online until after August 1st. Emphasis on presumably, because I know that pirates have their ways. So I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to maybe you will be able to get it before August 1st. But August 1st is when it's released, so I would assume you won't be able to get it till then. I don't really know though. So speaking of another thing I don't really know, check this out, you guys. Did you know that we still have Pirates Are Quick probably available on August 1st? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was available on August 1st. I just didn't think it was going to be available before, right? And Verity's like, oh no, it's already out there. And so, yeah, see, Verity already knows. So there we go. I kind of feel bad if we could get it. I don't really know if I want to see it before everybody else does. On the other hand, anyway, pirates are going to pirate with or without my participation. And speaking of pirates, y'all, I saw this. This is an actual modern day, still in service, U.S. Coast Guard boat that was off of the Kingston ferry dock earlier this week. Like, they still use this boat. It's a Coast Guard boat. What? Our Coast Guard has a boat that looks like this? What kind of rescue? What is the Coast Guard doing with a boat like that? Not only do they have a boat like that, they have 5 of them. What kind of boat even is that? It's a boat with sails. Exactly, dude. This is a real U.S. Coast Guard boat. It actually still is in service. It actually, like I said, there's 5 of them in their class. And I don't have much to say about it other than, check this boat out, guys. Isn't that wild? But yeah, so we got a U.S. Coast Guard boat right here. And, hold on. Hang on, what's it called again? Terry in Scotland is asking, are you talking about Chief of War? Jason Momoa's Chief of War? Or are you talking about the U.S. Coast Guard boat? Because I don't actually know the name of this boat. PP Bang, I can confirm that's one of the boats of all time. Exactly. That is a boat. It is a ship, actually. You know what? Verity, you're right. That is a ship. That is a ship. A U.S. Coast Guard ship. And, yeah, 3-masted, I guess. And, I don't even know what they would use it for other than, like, parades. Only parades that took place on the water. So I don't even know if that's called a parade. But yeah, let's see here. Well, if they know how to move and work that kind of boat and get results, great, let them have it. Puzzycat, we had a guy rent a boat in Key West and ran to Cuba and got arrested and the boat was lost. Yes, I bet it was. A schooner? I don't know. A schooner, I think, maybe? No, I think a schooner is only got 2 masts, if I remember correctly. And is that blue and red typical coloring to the Coast Guard? I don't know. USS Dollars, it's called a budget line item. And let's see here, Kenny, that's an original Coast Guard cutter. It's mostly ceremonial. Okay, so we've got 5 of them apparently. And Andre's coming in with the deets. U.S. Coast Guard Eagle, U.S. Coast Guard Cutter Eagle, formerly Horst Wessel was, was also known as Bark Eagle, is a 290-foot, 5-foot bark, I guess that's how you say it, used as a training cutter for future officers of the Coast Guard. She is one of only 2 active commissioned sailing vessels in the United States military today, along with the USS Constitution, which is ported in Boston Harbor. She is the 7th Coast Guard cutter to bear the name, in a line dating back to 1792, including the Revenue Cutter Eagle, each summer Eagle deploy. Oh, okay. I thought that there was 5 of them, but I guess not. And used for training officers, right? Well, gosh, you know, I didn't realize just how special it was. There's only 2 of them like that now, and one of them's on the East Coast, one of them's on the West Coast. But yeah, it was just off sailing the Puget Sound the other day, earlier this week, and there you go. So I just thought I'd share that with you, because who the heck sees boats like this randomly anymore, right? I don't. And Terry in Scotland, nobody's uploaded it yet. Yeah, I'm not surprised. And let's see here, but who would take drugs from USA to Cuba or escape via boat? Well, escaping Cuba via boat is pretty common. It's escaping Key West to go to Cuba that's the little bit opposite. He was going to Cuba to get the drugs. Yeah, that probably makes a little bit more sense. But still, wow, what a risky situation. Yeah. speaking of a risky situation and Cuba, I had a coworker, she's much older than me. When she was in college, this was before the Cuban Revolution, barely. When she was in college, she went to spring break to Cuba. And while she was on spring break in Cuba, the revolution happened, and she had to be found by the U.S. Embassy and swiftly taken from the country because she was on the last airplane that was leaving Cuba. If they hadn't found her and gotten her on that plane, she would still be in Cuba to this day, thinking she was on summer break or spring break still. And let's see here. The last time we saw a ship like that, it hit the Brooklyn Bridge, but that one belonged to Mexico and killed some of its trainees. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, well, hopefully they won't go near any bridges in this one. All right, so let's see here. What else do we have today to talk about? Ooh, I had something that I wanted to show you, but I forgot to upload it, so I'm not going to show it to you. And let's see here. Yeah, okay. I think we've got most of the topics except for the one I was going to talk to you about, but I can't because I didn't upload it. And let's see here. Hey, they are the Coast Guard, the safest boat drivers around. Let's hope so, but you'd think that the Mexican Navy would know how to steer a boat too. I mean, they were the Navy, right? Actually, were they the Navy? I don't know what they were, but either way, they were on a big boat. So, here's a question for y'all, and I don't have a picture for it, but I don't think y'all need a picture for this. Hot dogs. Yeah, are you familiar with hot dogs? The Finnish Coast Guard has been busy with the Russian ships. Yeah, not at all surprised, PPP Bang. But PPP Bang, do they have, the Coast Guard always says the Navy does not know what they're doing. True, but Andre, every branch of the service, like, as far as the Army is concerned, the Navy is just their taxi drivers. As far as the Navy is concerned, the Army is just their, is just cargo. As far as everyone's concerned, the Marines are just fodder to go die. But actually, though, the Air Force and the Army definitely look at the Navy as their taxi service. No, they also drive the Army around. The Army has been known to catch a ride with some naval ships as well. And yeah, as far as the Marines are concerned, the Navy is just their Uber. Yeah, and our Army feels that way too, and actually Air Force does as well on the aircraft carriers. So but you guys, I was just wondering, hot dogs, it's the season for hot dogs, and last night I did something that I haven't done in a really long time, which is I boiled my hot dog instead of grilling it or frying it. Y'all, have you boiled a hot dog recently? I think boiling hot dogs is like maybe the best way to eat them. I never really thought about it and how simple it is, but it's juicier that way. And so I was just wondering if anybody else still boiled their hot dogs like we used to when we were kids, or if they have some fancy thing. Yes, I could have boiled hot dogs when I could have that much salt. Yes, okay, obviously. Did it split? No, it didn't. And you boiled a brat yesterday, very juicy. Exactly. I was amazed at how juicy the hot dog remained after I just boiled it. Like when you cook it on the grill, it dries out a little bit, or when you pan fry it, it dries out a little bit. And I always thought that I preferred them rolled on a pan, sort of Like Kenny from the Cove is saying, hot dogs are best after being properly aged on a 7-Eleven roller grill. I enjoy the 7-Eleven roller grill, and I try to mimic that at home by rolling my sausage on the pan, and I used to think that that was the best way to eat it. But, you know, I'm telling you, man, I'm a changed woman. I think I might go back to the old school boiled hot dogs. And I know, what a random thing to talk about. I know, but we had like 3 minutes to kill, and I figured I would talk about something random. And let's see here. I love hot dogs. It's like a scratcher ticket. You never know what you're getting. And actually, PPP Bang, not only do you never know what you're getting, and it's like a scratch ticket, you generally need more than one. And Pussycat, you are absolutely smart. We are bringing it full circle. We started talking about dachshunds, and now we're talking about hot dogs. I didn't even plan it that way, but here you are seeing the pattern. You're bringing this show back to where we need to go, which is, we're almost at our 2-minute warning, so we're going to have to wrap it up. Perfect wrapping up time. Yes, hot dogs and dachshunds. There we go. And C. Honda, you boil your hot dogs too, like any smart person would, I'm realizing. And the 7-Eleven roller grill is just for entertainment purposes, not to be eaten. Oh no, darling, I love 7-Eleven roller grill hot dogs. I still have yet to try their roller grill hamburgers, because the idea of eating a hamburger in the shape of a hot dog kind of freaks me out. And boiling hot dogs leads to a dirty pot that needs to be washed, and I ain't about that life. Well, Kenny, it's funny you should say that, because I boiled them in a dirty cast iron skillet that needed hot water in it in order to clean it. So I actually kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone with my hot dog, because I had made a hamburger in the pan beforehand, and so there was still some hamburger grease and little hamburger crusties. So yeah, it worked out perfectly. But I absolutely can agree with what you're saying. Like, hot dog, dirty hot dog water, dirty pan. Yeah, the dirty pan is the last thing I want. I'm not about that life. I get it. But this time it actually made sense. And we are looking at a 2-minute warning. And then dirty hot dog water is the bomb. No, that gets washed down the sink without a doubt. But along with all the other grossness that was in the pan, and now my pan is clean. I got to eat a meal and clean my pan all in one fell swoop. And Kenny from the Cove, a 1/4-pound 7-Eleven burger bite is yummorific if you dress it right. Oh, I don't doubt that, because any burgers are delicious. So I have even cheap, nasty, awful burgers are still delicious. There's no such thing as a bad burger, only a better burger, okay? And Pussycat bragging, I had Philly cheesesteak sandwich for dinner. Yeah, well, you know what you can do, Pussycat? You can send me over the leftovers. Send me the leftovers, because I'll eat a cheesesteak any day of the week. I know I'm not supposed to eat gluten. That's fine. I'll pretend like the bun is gluten-free. Don't tell. All right, you guys. We do really have 2 minutes to go, so it is time to wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for hanging out here. I want to thank the mods for modding. I don't think there was a need for much moderation, which is awesome. I want to thank everybody for subbing and resubbing and gift subbing. I want to thank everybody for the biddies, and I want to have dinner with Darlene. We had baked crispy chicken, quinoa, and salads from my garden greens. Yes, let's do that. And lettuce wrap Philly cheesesteak is kind of messy, but does sound good. All I have to say is I am so thankful that everybody got to be here today. From PPP Bang, to Mariana, to Verity, to eMusic, to Mama Sean, and everybody in between, all the usuals who are always here. C. Honda, Terry in Scotland, of course, Andre, of course, Darlene and Rick, of course. And I'm just doing things off of the top of my head, so if I didn't remember your name to say it, it's not because I went up and down. Katie Zora, I think I didn't say you. Pussycat, did I say you yet? I don't know. All I know is I'm so happy that we're here tonight. And hopefully, if you remember, Tuesday, okay, next week, Tuesday, Andy Bumatai will be back at 3:30 Hawaiian time. 6:30 West Coast time, 9:30 East Coast time. So maybe, just maybe, we can all see each other again on Tuesday at Andy's show. And if we can't, then hopefully we'll see each other on Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, for another version of this. And let's see here. PBB Bang, I forgot to mention I just watched Lilo and Stitch this week and immediately reminded me of this stream. Awesome, PBB Bang. That is exactly beautiful. I love to hear that. And Shock is here. I wasn't sure if she was still here, saying it is time to be done. So, we're going to say, Pussycat, you're right. It is a steak sandwich if it's not in Philadelphia. And on that, 3, 2, 1, we're going to stop.